most important is for you to talk to someone about it, to bring the family in on it. I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Marcus, and I'm the host of a new one-hour program called Country Connections that will air at 7 o'clock on Saturday mornings. Tune in and get connected to the golden age of country music right here on KPFT.
Good morning. You're listening to Screen Reflections. This is your host, Michael Bergeron. Screen Reflections, where we listen to music from plays, movies, television shows. We talk about movies. We feature interviews with directors. This week, we've got very special guest, Richard Linklater, talking about his latest film, Nouvelle. Stay tuned.
And everybody wants some, and she's been in some fantastic films. But Guillaume Marbeck and Aubrey Dulon are brand new actors. I mean, they've only been in one or two things, but yet they're fantastic. How did you discover these guys?
That goes for the whole cast. The guy playing Truffaut, Adrian, the Chabot, they're all youngish French talent. It was really exhilarating to be working with these great young actors from Paris. But I don't know. There's talent everywhere, I guess. But in this case, we were trying to find people who looked like they're. There's a lot of familiar faces, if you know this world, that we're trying to find. So, when you find them. I remember when Aubrey, walked in the room, I was like, oh, he has a kind of a Belmondo kind of vibe to him, and I thought he looked like him, his smile, and so, you just know, it's like love at first sight, you just don't know it when you see it, Jean-Luc Godard is such a big part to cast. You couldn't help but be cautious. There were quite a few. The final callback, there was about 4 of them, but Guillaume had this kind of swagger to him, that was unique, felt kind of confident, and he's such an interesting thinker and had a unique sense of humor. I thought, okay, you are Jean-Luc. Zoe, I offered this part to over 10 years ago. I said, you've got to play, I'm going to do this film about the making of Breathless. You have to play Seberg. Because I thought she had it right here in her face. Like, you can be June Seberg. You really... She's like, really? I was like, yeah, just right here, not your hair, but if we got the hair right, I think you. And sure enough, when you're making the movie, I really forgot what the real Belmondo and Seberg and Godard even look like. They've been completely replaced by my folks. So
I counted at least 36 other people in the film, just playing the different directors and members of the French New Wave. Let me ask you, were any of them composite characters?
No, they're all, we weren't really making up anybody. Those all are, the first AD. What we're doing here is so well documented. We had payrolls and camera reports, and, we really knew, we were kind of doing our own history research. There were some questions on who the first assistant camera guy really was. Someone else kind of claimed to be, but from the payroll, we could tell it was, Claude Beausoleil, not Latouche, so whatever.
Wow. Lillian David is this woman who appears, she's got a bit part in Breathless, but I was cross-referencing the names, and I couldn't find that exact name. She was also Truffaut's girlfriend, or? Yeah, they were notoriously kind of like, Truffaut was breaking up. His marriage was ending, but he had this kind of open affair with Lillian David, so we touch on that. I think it makes some Truffaut people a little nervous, but, that's just... And she's a wonderful character, Lillian David. She was in a couple films, was an artist. They say in the movie, Lillian needs her own movie, and it's too bad. I mean, in some parallel world, she would have been a big star. She has a great little zest, to her. The film opens up, we see a shot in Godard's glasses of the ending of 400 Blows, and then at the end of the movie, we see a shot reflected in his sunglasses. He always wears sunglasses, even in the screening room, of Gene Seberg. Is that kind of shot hard to set up and film, or is it really just an easy shot?
Well, it's a little tricky. You got to get your composition. He can't move a lot. You got to get the reflection just right. It's like everything. You just got to put in the time and get it right.
There's a quote we hear in the movie from Georges de Beauregard where he's talking about how a film is 5 films. Is that something he actually said? Is that in a book or?
Well, that was actually a quote from Pierre Berger, the other big French producer who produced 400 Blows. And yeah, that is a quote. It's 5 films. The one you write, the one you direct, the one you edit, the one you release. So I would add a few more steps to that. They don't mention rehearse and some other steps, but yeah, you get the picture that a film is in these stages, and as a filmmaker, you have to love all of them. So.
I was wondering if you were kind of doing a rhyme of quotes that are used in the movie Breathless, because at one point Belmondo says, she's got a nice neck, she's got a nice breast, she's got a nice voice, she's got a nice wrist, nice knees.
Yeah, those are quotes from the movie. This whole movie is full of quotes. We're either quoting the original movie or Godard was a quote machine. There's so many quotes attributed in his world. There were a lot of letters between people, it was all very public, so, there's a lot of sources here. But yeah, quotes everywhere.
I noticed that there were real change marks up in the corner. Were those inserted digitally, obviously?
Yeah. No, I wanted this film to feel like a film made in 1959, came out in 1960, around this time. Everything about it a little scratchy. I even went so far as to say, this film was kind of found in an archive recently. Someone made a film about the making of Breathless. Not Godard, some other new wave director. And, I like to think like 100 years from now, it might all get conflated where this film is lost and they think it was made then or something. That could be kind of fun.
No, it was, you just captured the sun-swept atmosphere of Cannes perfectly. I thought it was old footage, honestly.
Yeah, I've never really done a film quite like this, not to mention, not just the black and white, the 1:37 aspect ratio and the French, but just the recreation of, history so specifically,
When we meet Bresson, he's filming Pickpocket. When we meet Melville, what film is he making? Or is that important?
You're the first guy to ask that. And we do a conceit there. The Breathless and Pickpocket crews actually ran into each other. Maybe not in the metro station, but they bumped into each other in Paris. They were in production around the same time. Melville, we were thinking the Homes of Manhattan, the Men of Manhattan, one of his crime films that he shot a little bit in New York, but mostly on sound stages.
That's a great film.
Yeah, it's a great film, but it wasn't. It was like a year earlier, so it's not. So it's a little. That's a little. We've shifted some chronologies a little bit.
Also in Breathless, Belmondo keeps mentioning Laszlo Kovacs, but he's not talking about the cinematographer who shot everything from the last movie to Miss Congeniality.
Yeah, Laszlo Kovacs I don't think was famous till years later. Some later in the decade he shot Easy Rider, I think. But he was probably in Czechoslovakia or whatever. He was known, but yeah, no, it was just a fun name. It is funny that there's 2 Laszlo Kovacs.
No, Godard has always been part of my film education. In fact, I distinctly remember the Austin Film Society seeing a double feature one night in March, I think 1987, where it was Hi Mom and 2 or 3 Things I Know About Her. The projector was on a 2x12 sitting between 2 ladders.
Dude, you are recalling, that is the spring of Of 88.
Okay,
I programmed 17 Godard films and a whole underground series. So yeah, Hi Mom. There was probably about 6 people in the audience, maybe. We lost a lot of money that semester, but I was really happy showing all those movies. Yeah, we 2 16mm projectors, a real Cinematheque, doing the real changes and stuff. So to me, that's how the Nouvelle Vague looked. They were mostly like crappy 16mm prints. Maybe this film should have been 16mm, but they didn't shoot on 16. But the educational medium for distribution was 16. So.
And they're giving me the rap signal, and I know this is about Nouvelle Vague, but you've also got another film out, Blue Moon. I mean, how prolific you are. When you were shooting Blue Moon, did you use John Huston's Moulin Rouge, where Jose Ferrer plays Toulouse-Lautrec, to get some, pointers on how to, make platforms and...
If anything, that's a lesson in how not to do it.
Okay.
It's kind of bad, when an actor's walking on their knees, some version of that. Plus, Larry Hart he didn't have dwarfism, he's just he's 4'11", he's just diminutive, he doesn't have the same, whatever condition that Toulouse-Lautrec had. But it does challenge your stagecraft abilities to kind of lower somebody and keep them, to show that Ethan's about 6 feet tall, so he had to lose about a foot. But we pulled it off, I think.
No, they're both wonderful films. You're also working on a movie, Merrily We Roll Along, that's being shot over a 20-year period. You started in 2019, it'll be finished in 2040. Anything you can tell us about that as we conclude?
Well, see you in 2040. It's going to be fun.
I hope to be around.
Yeah, we all do. But it's going well. We're rolling along. We're about a third of the way through.
And a special thanks to Richard Linklater for sharing those thoughts with us. The movie is Nouvelle Vague. It's currently in theaters and will premiere streaming on Netflix on November 14th, a week from today. Right now, some music. We've got a couple of really good cuts lined up. One is from the musical Hair, the song Frank Mills, and we're going to follow that up with Elton John off the LP Friends. Elton John, early in his career, scored a movie, Friends. So let's start off with Frank Mills.
I met a boy called Frank Mills on September 12th, right here in front of the Waverly. But unfortunately, I lost his address. He was last seen with his friend, a drummer. He resembles George Harrison of the Beatles, but he wears his hair tied in a small bow at the back. I love him, but it embarrasses me to walk down the street with him. He lives in Brooklyn somewhere and wears this white crash helmet. He has gold chains on his leather jacket, and on the back are written the names Mary and Mom and Hell's Angels. I would gratefully appreciate it if you see him. Tell him I'm in the park with my girlfriend, and please tell him Angela and I don't want the $2 back. Just him.
Cast a pebble on the water, watch the ripples gently spreading. tiny daughter of the Camelot. We were meant to be together. We were made for one another in a time it takes to grow up. If only we were old enough, then they might leave us both alone. So take my hand in your hand. Say it's great to be alive. No one's going to find us, no matter how they try. No one's going to find us. It's wonderful, so wild beneath the sky. Sleeping in the open, see the shadows softly moving. Take a train towards the Southlands. Our time was never better. We shall pass aside the splendor on the door of a new life. It had to happen soon, I guess. Whether it is wrong or it is right. So take my hand in your hand. Say it's great to be alive. No one's going to find us, no matter how they try. No one's going to find us. It's wonderful, so wild beneath the sky. We learned to be so graceful, watching wild horses running. And from those agile angels, we knew the tide was turning. For we watched as on the skyway the heron circled slowly, while we mere mortals watched them fly. Our sleepless eyes grew heavy. So take my hand in your hand. Say it's great to be alive. No one's going to find us, no matter how they try. No one's going to find us. It's wonderful, so wild beneath the sky. So take my hand in your hand. Say it's great to be alive. No one's going to find us, no matter how they try. No one's going to find us. It's wonderful, so wild beneath the sky.
Michelle's song off the soundtrack to Friends, Let's Let It Track Through. Orchestration by Paul Buckmaster. This is A Day in the Country.
I meant to do my work today, but a brown bird sang in the apple tree.
I know that one too.
And a butterfly flitted across the field.
And all the leaves were calling me.
And the buttercups nodded their smiling heads, greeting the bees who came to call. And I asked the lizard the time of day. as he sunned himself on a moss-grown wall. And the wind went sighing over the land, tossing the grasses to and fro, and a rainbow held out its shining hand. So what could I do but laugh and go?
My mother died when I was born. I live with my father on our own. And we had a cottage where we'd go. And he died too. Now I'm alone.
It may be hard to believe, but in the year 1971, Friends was somewhat of a phenomenon. It was like Love Story, but for young people. Thank you. You're listening to Screen Reflections on KPFT in Houston, 90.1 FM. And we want to thank everybody who has donated. We've been in a pledge drive for the last month. Too many people to mention, but thank you to all of our donors. It's important to keep the station funded. This is a public radio station, and we rely on listener support. And how about some music from Rocky Horror?
Michael Rennie was ill the day the earth stood still, but he told us where we stand. And Flash Gordon was there in silver underwear. Claude Rains was the invisible man. Then something went wrong for Fay Ray and King Kong. They got caught in a celluloid jam. Then at a deadly pace, it came from outer space. And this is how the message ran. Science fiction, double feature. Dr. X will build a creature. See androids fighting. Brad and Janet and Francis stars in Forbidden Planet. At the late night double feature picture show. I knew Leo G. Carroll was over a barrel when Tarantula took to the hills. And I really got hot when I saw Jeanette Scott fight a trivet that spits poison and kills. Dana Andrews said prunes gave him the rooms, and passing them used lots of skills. But when worlds collide, said George Powell to his bride, I'm gonna give you some terrible thrills, like science fiction, double feature. Dr. X will build feature picture show in the back row. To the late night double feature picture show.
Double feature science fiction off the Rocky Horror music soundtrack. Thank you for listening to Screen Reflections. This is your host, Michael Bergeron. We've got Clint Broussard coming up with a long time running. And let's go ahead and close our show out today with music from the film Shadow of the Vampire. This is music composed by Dan Jones.
Hi, this is Jim Lauderdale, and you're listening to KPFT Houston, 90.1 FM and kpft.org.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity,
not to make friends, but just to get something to eat?
Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Boyd Bluestein. The Great Wide Open is, as the program title suggests, anything and everything. I play a lot of music from many genres and include a world segment. Join me here each and every Tuesday, 10:30